a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I?
Then close your eyes and tap your heels together 3 times. And think to yourself, there's no place like home. 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 There's no place like home.
How about that amazing dancer from DTSOY, Elle High? Let's give it up for her outstanding performance. And how about the Springdale Superintendent's Band? Let's give it up for the vocalist, Jim Bob Lloyd from DTSOI. Ben Hill from Hellstern. Emma George from Shaw. Michael Baker Brown from HAR-BER High School. Ed Ray Serda from Jones Elementary. Alex Franco from Helen Tyson. Bethany Walmsley from Smith Elementary. And Michael Rothmeyer from Sonora.
And let's give it up for the band. We've got Mr. Zach Whitworth from Sonora Middle School on trombone. Mr. Tyler Weaver from Central Junior High on trombone. Mallory Vincent from Southwest Junior High on alto sax. Sarah Miller from Springdale High School on the bari sax. Omar Alonzo from Southwest Junior High on trumpet. And Julia Stevens from Springdale High School on trumpet.
Followed by Jeremy Ford from HAR-BER High School on drums. CJ Morris from HAR-BER High School on percussion. Rebecca Adler from Springdale High School on keyboard and vocals. Alan Showalter from Southwest Junior High on bass guitar. Will Saylor from Southwest Junior High on lead guitar. And Paul Price from Knapp Elementary on lead guitar.
Good morning and welcome to the 2023 Back to School District Faculty Event. My name is Mason, and as you can tell from my school colors, I'm from HAR-BER High School. I'm a former Smith Stallion, Hellstern Hero, Central Warrior, and now a HAR-BER Wildcat. I want to thank all of the teachers that have helped me along the way and have shaped who I am today. From kindergarten at Smith Elementary to my senior year at HAR-BER, I have truly enjoyed every second I've spent as a student in the Springdale School District.
Hi, and I'm Jamie Aguilar, the Student Council President here at Springdale High School. I am fortunate to have attended multiple schools here at Springdale. I am a former Bayari Bear, Monitor Mallard, Elmdale Eagle, Turnbow Thoroughbred, Sonora Middle School Spartan, Lakeside Eagle, and a current SHS Bulldog. I'd like to take a moment to thank all the teachers who have shaped me into the person I am today. I would love to list every single one of them, but I would like to take a moment to give a special thanks to Miss Chelsea Abbott, Miss Abby Hawthorne, Mr. Aaron Killingsworth, Miss Angel Malden, Miss Kirsten Dean, Mr. Matt Wood, and Miss Ellen Tidwell. Thank you all for being superheroes.
And I'm Nara Cuenca from Don Tyson School of Innovation. I am a former Parson Hills Panther, George Giant, and a current DTSOI Phoenix. We're going to have some fun today as we celebrate you and prepare for another incredible school year. A special thank you to the teachers at DTSOI who have all pushed me to achieve my academic goals. A specific thank you to Mr. Peterson, Ms. Clifford, Ms. Spunyard, Ms. Downham, and Ms. Strickland, who have all played a part in shaping me into who I am today. And all around, thank you so much to all Springdale teachers. You are all truly amazing. You guys have the wonderful and sometimes hard task of educating the future generation. This role could not have been filled by more capable hands. Thank you.
And now, please rise as the HAR-BER High School and Springdale High School FFA programs present our nation's colors, followed by the national anthem performed by the Superintendent's Choir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And how about the Springdale Choir? Let's give it up for our secondary choral staff and our elementary music teachers. This is the second year for us to do a school roll call. When you hear your school called, make some noise. We're all going to start together doing a district roll call.
All right, let's give it up for Springdale Public Schools. Elmdale Elementary. Let's hear it again for Springdale Public Schools. All right, Bayari Elementary. Lakeside Junior High. Harp Elementary. Turnbow Elementary. Central Junior High. Monitor Elementary. Hellstern Middle School. Jones Elementary. And Shaw Elementary.
Next, we have Knapp Elementary. Southwest Junior High. Smith Elementary. Hunt Elementary. Sonora Elementary. Tyson Elementary. Springdale High School. Walker Elementary. Westwood Elementary. Archer Learning Center. And Parson Hills Elementary.
Early Childhood Center. Tyson Middle School. K-8 Connect. George Elementary. Rollins Elementary. Don Tyson School of Innovation. Sonora Middle School. Young Elementary. George Junior High. J.O. Kelly Middle School. HAR-BER High School.
It is my privilege to introduce the Superintendent of Springdale Public Schools, Dr. Jared Cleveland. Dr. Cleveland will be starting his 4th year as the Superintendent. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Cleveland.
Wow, some of you have some work to do compared to the Bulldogs and the Wranglers and Knapp. I have a feeling next year, you guys are going to come prepared, right? Yeah, awesome, fantastic. She sends her regrets. She wanted to be. She is also a phenomenal human, but one of the best people that I know in the world, Mr. Randy Hutchison, I'd like for him to come to the table and have a few comments.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm going to try something. These kids gave me the idea. So I am a former Tyson Tiger. I'm a former Elmdale Eagle. I am a former Southwest Junior High Cougar. And a former Springdale Bulldog. That's awesome. That is great. Hey, I want to say, first of all, great job to this young lady down here that did the dancing. That was awesome. I met with with a lot of the band directors and the choral directors this morning and kind of gave them a kickoff for their last little get-together with their meetings. And I told them both that I'm not a singer. You do not want to hear me sing. You do not want to see me dance. You do not want to hear me play an instrument. But I do know when there's good singing and there's good playing on instruments, and these guys up here rocked it. They did a great job. Give them another hand. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Randy Hutchinson. I've been on the school board now for about 15 years. I've got the pleasure of being the school board president this year. This is my second time around in that role. And I love it. I really appreciate my other board members giving me the opportunity to do that. Now, this part of it I do not enjoy. I'm not a huge public speaking person, but I'm going to plow through this, and we're going to hopefully make some progress here. This is, I think, my 7th or 8th kickoff for different things. I've met with the new teachers. I've met with the administration. I've met with the coaches, band, choir, CSSOs. And I've enjoyed each one of them. This is kind of the culminating event. And I've worked for the same company for over 30 years, and I've been a part of this for over 15 years, and I have never attended a meeting, anything like this, and it's awesome. This is my most favorite meeting that I look forward to each year. So everybody that's been a part of putting this together, thank you, and great job. Just a couple things, and I mentioned these things when I met with the administrators a few days back. Our theme this year is home, and when I think of home, what comes to mind for me is family. And I mentioned to the administrators when I met with them, you know, we've all got our families, our nuclear families, our moms, our dads, grandmas, grandpas, spouses, kids, grandkids. But when I'm talking about I'm talking about my work family. And I know I don't work in the school district. I don't get paid. I understand that. But honestly, this is my second family. And I consider you guys family, all of you. And I hope that especially the new folks get that same feeling. I know the ones that have been around for several years have pretty much the same feelings that I do. And I really think that that's really unique about this district. So please get to know your neighbors, get to know your folks at the other schools, and this is your family. I mean, when the chips are down and I need something, I know I can call Dr. Cleveland. I know I can call any of the administrative staff, teachers, principals that I know, and they'd be there for me. And, you know, I can't say that for anybody else other than my nuclear family. So family is huge. When it comes to family, one of the biggest things that I think of for my family is their safety. And I know that's a big thing for our school district. We're making lots of upgrades, doing a lot of really neat things that are going to make things even safer than what they have been. But I had the privilege of this summer going through the CSSO training. And I've always been a huge fan of SROs and CSSOs, but I really didn't understand what all that they did to get to that designation. So I took 60 hours 1 week, took a week off from my regular job and spent 60 hours learning everything that there was to know about being a CSSO. And now I have a better understanding of what they do. And you elementary schools, you guys have some great folks in your schools that are going to be there protecting you, and that makes me feel great. So give them a hand. Really, my main intention for being up here is just to say welcome back. Thank you for everything you do. Obviously, we could not do any of this without you. We've got a great central office staff. We've got great staffs at each one of our schools and great teachers. So appreciate everything you do. If there's ever anything that I can do to help you, I'm not hard to find. I'm around the schools quite a bit. So if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out and say hi or bend my ear in any way that you need to, and I'll be happy to listen. So with that, I think I'm going to hand it back to Dr. Cleveland. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. I'm telling you, we have the best board. We just do. And those of you that have been in other districts and are now part of this family, I think you probably understand it better than we do. So we are spoiled and we are grateful and we are so appreciative of all the time, energy, and effort that you put in to serve our students and our family that you see in front. So great job, Mr. Hudson. I also want to introduce you, if you don't know, to some people that serve you every day, that think about you at night when they go to sleep and wake up thinking about you in the morning. And that's our central office team, led by our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Marcia Smith. Marcia, would you please stand up? Also, if you don't know, and I think everyone does, our two associates, we have absolutely Miss Shannon Tischer and Miss Melissa Fink, Associate Superintendents. Wonderful people. If you don't know Kendra Clay, you will. She's going to be responsible and is responsible for a lot of the things we do policy-wise. And she is the most fantastic educational legal mind in the country. And if you don't know that, hide and watch, because she'll show you, and she has. Miss Kendra Clay, please introduce yourself there. Wonderful. Mr. Damon Donnell, please stand. Mr. Donnell leads so many things, wears so many hats. He's our Student Services Director, and quite frankly, has helped us lead all through the safety. And I realize sometimes when you have a safety meeting and all of that, you think, oh my goodness. But if something ever happened, you're ready. You're practiced and you're ready. And not to be a downer, but I want to thank you for all the work that you do, the CSSOs as well, and the SROs, and we're going to introduce you guys in just a second. Someone you may not know, but he's all over the place, Mr. Jeremy White. Mr. Jeremy White is our Director of Sports Services. He's got a hard job, folks. If you don't believe me, go by Central, Southwest, George, take a walk around Springdale High School, and anytime your air conditioner's broken or you're upset about that, you're hot or you're cold, he's the one that fixes it. So let's make sure that we always say thank you to Jeremy. And in a new addition to our team, certainly into a new role, as you know, Mr. Hayes resigned, and we're proud he's on vacation permanently, but we miss him. But I got to tell you, we have a young lady that's taking his place, Ms. Stacy Hopkins, who is a phenomenal finance director. And so, Ms. Stacy Hopkins. Thank you. Of course, everyone knows Trent. Trent Jones is around here. He's our, yes, everyone knows Trent. We change his title all the time, so I don't really know who he is today. But Paul Miller's in the back. Your technology, you have the most robust technology director in the country as well. So thank you, Mr. Miller. We have some remarkable special guests here today, people who serve and they take a beating for it. If you don't believe it, watch CNN or Fox or listen to the radio or just watch local TV. The people who choose to serve you are really wonderful people, and they do it because they care. If they didn't care, they wouldn't do it because their jobs are hard. I want to introduce a young lady, Representative Denise Garner. She's come by for us today. She's part of our community. We're thankful she's here. She's our state representative. We have Mr. Steve Unger. He's newly elected last year, did a great job this last session. Thank you, Mr. Unger, for your service. We've got two gentlemen that you're going to get to hear from. One is Mr. Mike Rogers. Mike, if you don't mind to stand up. He's our Workforce Development Director for the state, and he is absolutely doing work for you, doesn't have to do it, wants to do it, and feels it's his calling. And then finally, we have my great friend, who I absolutely love and adore, our Congressman, Steve Womack. I look forward to hearing him speak in just a few moments. Before we move on, what's our first pillar in Springdale Public Schools? Somebody yell it. Safety. Mr. Hutchinson alluded to it, but there are some men and women that protect you every day, and their goal is to not be seen or heard, except for when they're needed. Their goal is to be part of your family, fold in, know the children, know the families, and they're doing just that. I would like to invite, and they probably don't want to do this, but I'm going to ask you to do it. Our CSSOs and our SROs, would you please come with me in front of the stage here? Come onto the stage so we can recognize you and your work. You can tell who they are. Look at them. Fantastic. On behalf of our school board, on behalf of every single teacher and classified employee in this community and this family and our whole community, what you do matters to us so much, and we're so grateful. And we look forward to the opportunity that you have all year to protect us. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. while they're making their way back, I'd also like to recognize a couple of people that are here today. Sarah and Rhonda, if you enjoyed yesterday, the chamber event, would you please thank Sarah and Rhonda? I know they're still here. You guys are awesome, and I know the work that you do, and we thank you so much. Okay. I don't know if any of you have met or listened to Secretary Oliva, but Secretary Oliva is our new secretary appointed by our new governor. And I tell you what, he can speak and think, teaching and learning, and he is all about it. And I tell you what, just like anybody else, when someone new comes in and you don't know them, especially from out of state, your guard's up a little. I've been around him, spoke to him multiple times, and I think we've got a good one. I really do. And so I know you might see things on TV or hear things on Twitter, whatever it is. I'm not on really Twitter anymore, whatever that is. But I have to tell you, he cares enough about you to send us a message. So you folks in the back, would you mind to roll this 2-minute message?
Hi, my name is Jacob Oliva, and I have the distinct honor and privilege to be the Secretary of Education for the great state of Arkansas. And first, I want to say thank you to everybody that's participating in this day of learning right there in Springdale Public Schools. Having everybody come back and catch up on the wonderful summers and initiatives and learn about the district's priorities is an awesome day of learning. And I can tell you, I know firsthand how much effort and energy it takes to bring everybody together. It doesn't just take one person to make a school district work. It takes everybody working together. So thank you to support staff, bus drivers, food service workers, classroom teachers, administrators, paraprofessionals. Everything that you're doing is going to make a difference in this school year. I'd also like to thank Superintendent Dr. Jerry Cleveland. As I was pretty new to the state, he's one of the first people that reached out and shared about some of the wonderful initiatives that are happening right there in your school district. Springdale is leading the way in career and technical education and providing individualized learning opportunities and pathways for students, and y'all have a lot to celebrate and be very, very proud of. My understanding is that your theme this year is the Wizard of Oz and bringing everything home. So I think I'm going to take a line out of the Lion of the Wizard of Oz and say, I hope that everyone has the courage and belief that they need to have to make sure that we are removing every obstacle possible to engage our students in high quality learning environments. And if we
almost got through it, but what he said is he cares about you, and he believes in you, and you are leading the way, and so we're very appreciative for Secretary Oliva. He would have been here today, but they have a state board meeting, so I kind of understand how that goes. Well, I want to introduce to you our first speaker, again, my great friend, Congressman Womack. Are you prepared? Ready to roll? His sister said you must be really struggling for a speaker, but I must say that's not the case. Congressman Womack.
Thank you. Let me just apologize. Honest to goodness, I sure thought I was going to Springdale High School to do a welcome back for the teachers, but somehow my staff ended up taking me to the AMP. And I was able to get in even without a ticket. And I saw one of the greatest concerts I've ever seen in my life. I feel privileged. No, seriously, that was impressive. But even before that, what that young lady did on stage, admit it. It all took you back in time. I mean, to see Springdale's Judy Garland up here on that stage performing that dance to that song brings it all home. So Elhi, I want you to come up here a minute. I want to give Elhi, I want her, this 13-year-old from the DTSOI. 13 years. 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 my challenge coin of excellence for what she was able to do today to kind of take us back in time and make us all feel real special. All right, I'm going to be brief. I know that's hard to imagine, a politician up here. I've got all this pent-up desire to want to speak. I just came home from Washington. Actually, I just came back from Germany, where I was watching Arkansas National Guard troops train Ukrainians to go defend their home, and it's impressive. And I could stand up here a long time, but I know you teachers have a lot more things to do. But I want to be serious here for just a minute. Those of you that have seen me speak before, particularly when I'm in Springdale, I often talk about the late Pat Ellison. And the reason I do is because I never met a person in my life more committed to the standard of excellence than Pat Ellison. I would show up at some of her rehearsals and watch her up in that tower with that bullhorn, commanding every step. And then to see the turnout of the all-state bands year after year after year, primarily made up of Springdale High School musicians. And when I talk about Pat, and I do so at the risk of offending other schools, and it's not my intent. My intent is to explain the concept of excellence. Because everywhere else in Northwest Arkansas, indeed around our state, during that era and even today, most instrumental music organizations want to be like Springdale. Because Springdale is that mark on the wall that if you can excel like Springdale, you're in rare air. And so I would encourage people in using Pat and her music program, and we saw evidence of the residual effect of that standard of excellence on this stage earlier today. In encouraging people not to get caught up in trying to be like someone else because you happen to admire them, but instead be like Springdale, where you are the standard. And knowing that you can always improve, but you're not always going to improve if you're comparing yourself to just a peer. It is a standard that few people can truly envision or realize. And that's what makes this school district so vital to the greater Arkansas economy. Everywhere I go, I have people ask me about what's the magic of Northwest Arkansas. People talk about it all the time. And I remind them that it's a different attitude there. It's more of an entrepreneurial spirit. It's that we are responsible for us. We don't need a lot of government help. We don't need a lot of government interference. We just need to be left to our devices because we have the collective wisdom and capacity to be everything that we need to be. And everywhere you go in Northwest Arkansas, and particularly here in Springdale, it's evident. And I will say this, which is why I'm here today. The most important thing we will do as a society to help this constitutional republic endure Aside from matters of faith and family, I'll set those aside because those are reserved for other institutions, including parents, churches, and the like. But aside from matters of faith and family, the most important thing we will do is educate our kids. And the barometer I have as a member of Congress, while I could use a lot of different scales, happens to be my academy program. Because as you know, only the very best and brightest can make the cut to go to Annapolis or Colorado Springs or West Point. And there are 3 kids today preparing for the next academic year in 2 of those institutions, including Noah Wilson, who is a rising sophomore, Springdale High School, U.S. Naval Academy, and then right behind him, as a brand new freshman, fresh off of his basic training, and I'm sure enjoying now a little bit of a relief from that initial shock of this 47-month experience, Cruz Reyes from HAR-BER High School. Now, I admit I'm a bit partial because I happen to be the chairman of the board of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And it's kind of my golf, my fishing, it's my hobby. It's my escape from Congress. And nothing pleases me more than to see a Northwest Arkansan do very well at West Point. And moving into his junior year at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point this year is a good young man by the name of Luke Rucker from HAR-BER High School. And so here is your takeaway today. Never underestimate your ability to make a lasting impression on a great young leader. And I asked Luke before I came in here today, he's back at West Point, who had the biggest impact on you? What teacher? Give me a name. And he responded with Laurie Jennings. Is she here? Stand up, Laurie. Luke is going to go do some great things for our country. He may indeed be called on one day to go into the crucible of ground combat and defend us. And it's always mindful to me that somewhere in his past, he was inspired. He was inspired to do something great and to do something selfless and to do something bigger than himself. And so when I see the name Laurie Jennings pop up on my text screen from Luke Rucker, it reminds me of how important this day is. You're all excited. It's time to go back into the classroom. You're going to be caught up in the day-to-day activities and the fits and starts of a school year, and you will do well. But keep in mind that you too have an opportunity to create a very lasting and important impression on a young kid who is coming up through the ranks, and you may be the reason he or she is inspired to go do great things for our country. In Washington, D.C., things are complicated. In fact, they're outright dysfunctional. It is always good to stand in the DCA airport late at night, ready to take that flight home, and click my heels 3 times because there is no place like home. God bless you.
Are we not fortunate to have Congressman Womack? Thank you so much. If everyone in Congress were like him and had the same heart, mentality, and effort, we would be in much better shape. All right. I know it was great to stand up for a second. I want to introduce you to somebody that you're going to know, and you're going to know really, really well. How many of you remember watching Mr. Rogers when we were growing up? For those of you too young, I'm sure you've seen a repeat. Okay. You're about to meet a new Mr. Rogers, and he has some of his own calling cards, like the belt buckle the size of my truck, you know. But I've got to tell you, he is a remarkable man launching us forward in our efforts into career exploration with students. So, Mr. Rogers, would you please? Thank you, sir. Let's welcome Mr. Rogers to the stage.
I'm glad he didn't say anything about a sweater. I've been trying to escape that calling card for years. I want you to know that my passion, my pride, my drive, my enthusiasm, my innovation, the idea to collaborate, and the work that God gives us started in Springdale School District. I was sitting there thinking about the logo above me. Let me get over here to the me part. And I realized where I started, where I became empowered to a point to start a full circle. It's amazing to me to know that even though I office in the capital of Little Rock, that circle always brings me back to a place where it began. I think about the H for me is heaven, and there's a little bit of a circle between me and heaven, but that's my final home. And the circle that many of you have been a part of and continue to spin for other people excites me, and the passion and the drive. I've never been to an experience like this before. This is bigger than a lot of cities I traveled to in Arkansas. In this room. Phenomenal, amazing stuff. The potential at your fingertips to change lives. And I had been reflecting, thinking, what do I possibly share with maybe millions of years of education experience represented underneath this one roof. And I want to sum up my takeaways from a 20-year education career in 3 ideas. My first one was the phrase, figure it out. I probably used that phrase in my high school classroom more than anything else, figure it out. It was a combination of tough love, of high standards, of expectations, of direct conversation, the reality that I might be the last person they work for before they get a job. And the lack of a parent that may be guiding them to that path, the lack of the inspiration, motivation, empowerment that I had received. I wanted to be that tough love, but yet cushioned with empathy and mercy and grace to understand where people were in a position to relate to them. Even though we have to teach to a group, we got to call out the individuals that make up that group and celebrate their strengths. My second takeaway was the mile marker of my career, 20 years. The first 10 years was before this was invented, and it was glorious. And then it was 10 years after that. But the second mile marker, halfway through my career, when a student got an F on an assignment, if you'd have asked me why, I'd have said it's because they failed. But after 2007, if you asked me the same question, I would have said, it's because I failed. I realized that I wasn't putting the onus in the place it deserved. I needed to be in a place where I could realize that I failed to motivate. I failed to inspire. I failed to deliver. I failed to connect. And I failed that student. And the last 10 years of my career was totally different from the first 10 of the expectations that I'd put on myself that were fictitious. Towards the very end of my career, I finally found the answer. I finally found it. And I'm so glad to be able to share that answer with you if it resonates. And it was how to deal with difficult students and administrators. I'm looking at two of them right now. How do I deal with these guys? And I would lose sleep over it thinking, Lord, what is the deal? What do I do? And I apologize for those who've heard me at ACES. I think I might have shared this example before. But one particular student, I'll call him Kevin, was in my classroom. Every time he was there, it was just a chaotic environment. It's like they fed off of it. Every now and then it'd be gone, and it would just be smooth sailing. And I probably invested as much time and thought and preparation for Kevin as I did the other 29 in that classroom. Some of you are going to block this year. I had Kevin double blocked. And I was like, Lord, what's the deal with Kevin? Why did you do this to me? And the next thought was, you give assignments, so do I. I said, Lord, what does that mean? He said, you got one semester to pass this assignment. And I was nervous because it was unattainable. I had no idea how to find the recipe, the combination, how to unlock Kevin's potential. He came in with so much baggage and barriers and issues and challenges and social things that he had been force-fed through his whole life. And I had no idea what to do. So I would continue to pray, Lord, how do I unlock his potential? The thought I got back was, trust him when he's not trustworthy, like him when he's not likable, and respect him when he's not respectable. I said, Lord, that's a tough one. I said, I'm going to need some more help from that. Give me some more ideas. He said, well, next thought, it's funny in my head, God sounds like Mike. I don't know how it works in you. It probably doesn't sound like Mike, but it might sound like you. It's like, I don't know what this means. The way I figured it out is if it's a good idea, if it's really smart, it's not Mike. So I had these conversations, Lord, what do I do? And so every day I would get to school early, which I always did, but I'd make it a point to go to Kevin's chair, pray over that chair, and even anoint it with oil. Hoping he would slip. No, I'm not kidding. I didn't say that. Come on. Hoping that somehow I could permeate into him and soften him up. But remember my figured out? Remember my advice? And now I'm hearing myself, oh no, by the same standard which I gave someone else, now I receive. Figured out. So I was trying everything. And there it was. I saw it. The time, the opportunity demonstrated itself in front of me. I had a reporter come to the program that I got to bring from a vision to reality. And they were coming to do a special front page article on this program. I knew what time they were coming. I was checking the time. And I said, Kevin, I'd like you to get your stuff and go the hallway. And you can imagine the crappie flop, all the flailing around, the thrashing and gnashing of teeth. You know Kevin, and I'm sorry, I know there's at least one Kevin in here. So it was not that Kevin. And he mumbled something, I don't even know what he said. I probably didn't even listen to it. I said, Kevin, I'd like you to get your stuff, go to the hallway. Not quite as demonstrative as the first time. Still some opposition. Kevin, I'd like you to get your stuff and go to the hallway. I learned a long time ago, I don't have to argue with a student. Clear expectations with grace, but firmness to expect him to do what I ask him to. Kevin grabs his stuff with as much exhibition as he can, and he huffs and puffs out of the classroom. I get the rest of the class on task. Smooth. Kevin, he's all bristled up, like he just hosed a cat down. And I said, I need you to do something for me. What do you want? I'm not sure if his voice had changed. I said, Kevin, I want you to know that there's a reporter coming by. And I want you to show them everything that you know about this program. I can't do it. I have a class to teach. And it took about 5 seconds for him to get his composure. I introduced him to the reporter who did not see that. He came back when it was done, came in the classroom. I let the rest of the class leave. He came to the desk and I said, "How'd it go?" And his phrase was, "I hope I didn't disappoint you." I said, "Well, Kevin, I need you to go do something." And he did it. Next day he comes in and he says, actually, I should say, a different Kevin shows up. And he says, "Have you got something I can do for you?" And so after they picked me up off the floor, I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've got a couple things that are pretty high level, but I trust you and I respect you. And I'm even learning to like you." And you know how hard that is. And he did the work with excellence. Kevin would come by in hours. I'm pretty sure he was skipping someone else's class. And I didn't care because that's their assignment, not mine. Kevin went on to be a great adult, to continue, and I hope that that changed his life. But if it didn't, I did everything within my ability to change it for him. And I wish I'd have known that my first year. I wish I'd have learned that at PD. I wish I'd been modeled that. I wish I knew, God, why is this happening? And I share that with you to know the circle that we travel. And even though I don't teach here, I don't teach anymore, I represent, I care about the Kevins, I care about the Kevin changers. And even though I won't be here to support you, 2 of my adult children that got hired as teachers at work here will. That's how much I believe in what you do. It's good enough for me, it's good enough for my kids. And the circle that brings me home, I thank you for.
Isn't it awesome to not only have one of our family, Mr. Rogers, but a family or an educator in Little Rock that represents you, that knows what you do every day, that understands it and knows the challenges that you face every single day. So what you do is so important, and like I've said to you on a couple of occasions, I think you're here at the right time, the right place, doing the right thing. So thank you so much. Let's thank him one more time, please. Okay, I'm going to switch from this to this. Is that okay? Okay. As you may have noticed, our theme is home and Yellow Brick Road, brought to you into this facility. Before I start my message, I know some of you are pretty young, so we want to zip through the entire movie of The Wizard of Oz in just a few minutes. Please lower the lights. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Shoes. Don't want no short, short men. Let's get some shoes. Shoes. Don't want no short, short men. I got my ticket for the long way round. 2 bottle whiskey for the way. And I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say?
The tornado flew out of home before you came. Excuse the mess of me, it usually doesn't rain in Southern California, much like Arizona. My eyes don't shed tears, but boy they fall when I'm thinking about you. You know, no, I've been thinking about you. You know, no, I've been thinking about you. Do you think about me still? Do you got a first aid kit handy? Do you know how to patch up a wound? Tell me, are you patient, understanding? 'Cause I'ma need some time to clear the hold in my heart. And I tried every remedy and nothing seems to work for me. Damage. I thought that I should let you know that my heart is damaged, so damaged. And you can blame the one before. I can't be tamed, I can't be tamed, I can't be. I cannot be.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in. So shame on you now. Took me to places I've never been. You're just a lion on the cold hard ground.
Please, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it, screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. 21st century schizoid man.
Don't want no money. I like your beard. Just want those shoes. Ain't no wizard that can save you from the witch of the west side. I'll get you and your little dog too. 'Cause there ain't no place you cannot show me your feet. Show them to me.
Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground.
You know I'm a dreamer. My heart's a gold. I had to run away, so I wouldn't come home though. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Home, sweet home.
I'm going home to the place where I belong. Sweet love has always been enough for me.
Just know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place
I'm just too far from where you are. I wanna go home. And now
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Home, sweet home. Tonight, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Home, sweet
That's pretty cool. Now you don't have to watch the movie. So all you young people, that's The Wizard of Oz. My wife used to watch it every single year. Anyone know when The Wizard of Oz was made? You smart people, did somebody prepare you? 1939. It's a long time ago, and yet the relevance of that movie today is very important. Why is it important? In a time of education, we have to live our mission. In order to do that, you have to have a vision for it. You have to have a courage. You got to have heart. You got to use your brain. We have to do that in a way to where all of our children that enter our door know that they're loved, know that we're prepared for them every single day because of our brain, and we've got to instill in them the courage to do the things they think they can't do. Right? Every time I see kids do amazing things, I turn to whoever's next to me, and you know what I say, Randy? I said, I just love kids because they're so much fun and they're so talented. And I know that our future is in such a good place, even when the news channels and chatter, Twitter, whatever I said before, maybe tells you it's not. And it's just not the case. And it's not the case because you're the ones that are changing the lives and absolutely altering the future. I see you do it. I see the evidence, and I'm so grateful to get to do it with you. I know our school board is here. They focus on that all the time, and they challenge me as the district leader. They challenge our team as leaders to support you at such a high level that sometimes that support feels like a challenge or it feels like pressure. Know that we feel it too, and it's not just us. It's not just the board. It's not just our state board. It's not just our governor. It's not just Mike Rogers. It's all of us. Our efforts have to be beyond what we think we can do for who? Collectively. Who do we do it for? Come on, folks. Are you awake? You have to stand up? We do it for our children. We do it for our children. We do it in an intentional way. We have to be intentional. We have to lead that way. That's lead our classroom, lead our district, lead our state. And by the way, that's what you're doing. Mr. Rogers, a few minutes ago, he started talking about the change and what he's working toward. And he is I'm going to use an analogy because I learned that way. How many of you have traveled on the interstate? A little bit spooky to do, right? But if you're worried about your gas mileage, and we all are, what do? We sneak in behind what? A big semi-truck. Why do we do that? We're drafting, right? We're trying to save a little money. I'm going somewhere, Miss Davis, I promise. Mike Rogers is that semi-truck. He is doing that for us. He is a representative of us, and he is working hard for us. And people are listening to him, okay? So I'm appreciative that he was here today. It's a big deal. But guess who also is a semi-truck? Springdale Public Schools. You are. You are. You're the semi that's flying down the highway. You are literally busting down barriers so others can slide in behind you. You are considered the leaders because you are. It's not me. It's really not our school board. It's not the district office team. It's not the principals. It's literally you, all of you. And so from me to you, from them, our school board, I want to thank you. I appreciate you. I'm in awe of you. I envy you because you get to do the fun work every day. And I know it doesn't feel fun every day. I know that because you have Kevins in your classroom. But it is. You wouldn't have come back. You just wouldn't have come back. So as we lead, we're listening and we're learning and we're intentional in our work. We're doing all of these things. We're aligning our culture. We're aligning our curriculum. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to enter that interstate and you're going too slow. What does it feel like as the driver? Everybody ever done that? What if you're going too fast? What if you're the guy on the interstate and here comes somebody whirling up beside you, Matt? What do? Oh my gosh, you're looking around. Sometimes there are wrecks. So you have to merge in the right way. And you're doing that. What's this building? Anybody know? That's central office. How long has it been there? 100 years. I wonder if the same things are going on inside that building today that 100 years ago when it was built. If it was still you see where I'm going? Is it the same thing or is it different? Does it mean the building's changed? Well, it's had some alterations, obviously, because what? We've moved forward. It actually has an air conditioner, and I guarantee you 100 years ago, those things weren't even invented. Okay? But it's still the same building. It serves the same purpose, which is to educate students in Springdale, Arkansas. In our world today, it may feel like we are in Oz because we have had a legislative session and things are a little different. Let me tell you, and I'm going to share my heart with you here, okay? I'm not going to be heavy. This is fun. Please. You can think way over here on the left, and you can think way over here on the right. That really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What's in the middle that our focus is on? And it should be. Damon, who's in the middle? Kids. Regardless of what happens. No offense, Representative Unger. Thank you for what you do. And Representative Garner. No one wants children to fail. No one in that House of Representatives or that Senate or in that governor's office or in that governor's mansion want any of our children to fail. None of them. So at this point, we know we have support. Again, may not feel like support sometimes, but it is support. How many of you got at least $2,000 added to your check this year? You know who did that? These folks. Another $1,000 came from our board. You got $3,000 more. So there are some things maybe that it's hard to swallow, and maybe we've got to do a better job educating our people who represent us. They want that. They wouldn't be here today. They want to know what you're doing so they can celebrate you and go back to Little Rock and talk about the things that Springdale is doing that others maybe should emulate. So if you don't hear anything else that I say today, please know no one wants us to fail. Am I right? Thank you. I appreciate that. The building may look the same. It still serves a purpose in education. Learns is here, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the things that are coming forward that we don't know about, or maybe it's not on our radar. But I'm going to try to do it in a quick way because my eternal timekeeper's over here, Dr. Smith, and so I don't want to get too far off track. I don't want to read to you, but I do want you to read this message. What's the important part about this message? It's the we. Okay? The true courage is in facing danger when you're afraid. And that kind of courage, we have plenty. We have plenty of courage. Again, you wouldn't have come back. One of my favorite quotes, administrators, I shared this with the other day. It's from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. How many of you believe that? I'm so glad. That's 100%. Someone said, well, Confucius said this better, but I'm going to tell you about Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin, I think I would be friends with. I think I would just run around. He wanted the national bird to be a turkey. Who doesn't like that, right? But you know what he said? Tell me, and I forget. I shared this with CTE teachers this morning. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. I might remember, right? Involve me and I learn. You involve me and I learn. If I do things with my hands, if I can articulate that if I can redo, repurpose, retool, whatever it is, I learn that. That is fun. And you make learning fun every single day. So, I want you to do, just real quick, while I'm talking, you reflect on this. Why are you an educator? There's so many of you that you were attorneys, you were other things, you had another life, you were an electrician, you did other things in the world, and you had something in you that you wanted to help kids. You wanted to teach them. Someone inspired you. I shared this with Springdale High and HAR-BER the other day. When I first started teaching, I emulated the people that taught me. You know, back in the 70s and 80s, I'm not real sure that was the greatest time in the world to be a kid. I remember, I think my nose was in the corner pretty often. I was threatened with a paddle, and there was a smoking tree. Anybody remember a smoking tree? Probably not the best way to educate in the time. And so it's a little different, and that's good. But think, back then, I kind of copied the people that taught me. Some of the good things, some of the bad. And I recall when I was a student, especially in about 7th grade, I had some interactions with one particular person, and they weren't real good. I was scared of the guy. In fact, actually in 2nd grade, I used to fake being sick. Anybody ever do that? Because I didn't want to go to class. I won't tell you the teacher's name. She claimed the other day when I saw her not too long ago in Paris that she is the reason that I'm the superintendent of Springdale. And I thought, ma'am, you're the reason I almost quit school. But I didn't say that. I didn't say it. I just went, yes, ma'am, thank you so much. But those slight interactions that you have, that maybe nothing that you think about could be almost eternal for those kids, right? Anybody had that moment with a student that you wish you could take back? Or when you were a student, did you have a moment that you wish that adult hadn't said or done what they did to you? So when you think about that, think about every interaction you have with a student, no matter how young to how old. Those interactions are critical to maybe a student's future. I've got a student that he still calls me coach. I love him. He's a great kid. He's not a kid anymore. He's 40, right? And he's an engineer in Northwest Arkansas, and he came from the River Valley, and he calls, and he's like, hey, coach, this and this. He comes over and won't leave. And he's a great young man, but he remembers things that I have no idea about. He remembers certain plays and the shots he hit or things I said in the locker room that I wish I hadn't, those kinds of things. And I reflect on that and think, man, I'm sorry, Michael. And he still loves me, and I love him. So I'm glad he has a huge heart to forgive. But you are the best recruiters. Don't raise your hand on this. Please don't. How many of you have children and you hope they're not a teacher? Don't raise your hand. My 2 oldest are, and I'm thankful. You are the best recruiters in the world. You're the best recruiters. You're the best recruiters to your own profession. And we need you now more than ever. This year, I interviewed pretty much everyone. And right now we've hired, I think, it was as of last week, 212. Pretty much a record. Usually we hire 150 to 170. That's in a growing district. That's not too bad. We've leveled off quite a bit, folks. And this year we're at 212. In fact, as of today, probably 220. So we have a lot of new people in our family here, and we're so glad you've chosen to be here. But I need 5 more speech paths. 5. Speech paths, you're awesome. Please recruit. I need you to recruit. And it needs to be, don't come to Springdale. Let's don't do that. Or it's, oh man, we may get paid a lot, but they ride us like an old horse on the Pony Express and put us up wet. Don't do that. Tell the truth, but don't do that. Be positive even when it's difficult. So 200 years of education, it's pretty much been the same. Horace Mann once said, the public education system is the great equalizer. It allows any child, any person, to get to the point where they can be successful. All of you have a story, and you can tell it, and a lot of them would end with tears, or maybe while you're telling it, comes with tears. Okay? That's why you're doing the work, probably. But we have to make sure that no matter what system structure is developed federally or at the state level, that our kids don't feel it, right? You know, you saw the building, has the same purpose, it's part of education. You see where I'm going with this? Our structure's the same, no matter if there's learns or not. Quite frankly, there's a lot in learns I'm giddy about, I'm appreciative of. A couple things whatever, I'm frustrated about. That doesn't matter in the long run. As long as we're doing our work, we're competing at a high level. We are competing for our students to stay. We're competing for others to want to move in here. Because we're Springdale, we love growth. We think we can teach every child better than anybody else, don't we? How many of you believe that? Say amen. All right, or clap or whatever. I believe it too. But we're in a growth process. And growth sometimes is hard. When I have been challenged the most is when I've grown the most. Anybody understand that? How many of you exercise? You don't have to raise your hand. I don't like exercise, but I feel better when I do it. I remember when I used to could see muscles in my belly. I haven't seen those in multiple years. But when I was doing that, I felt good. I could run all day. I was in college. When I played basketball in college, but that was the growth process. But at the time, I hated it. I hated that coach. I was like, golly, you're killing me. But he did the best thing he could for me, which is to teach me how to take care of my body. Okay? I wish it would have stuck. So, I've shared this with you before, just a different picture. If you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, what are you, Dr. Smith? You're rotting. So we have to constantly know that being in the growth process is fine. You're constantly green. You're constantly growing. If you ever get to the point you're not, that's when you know it's okay. Remove yourself from the tree. It's okay. Get in a position to where you're growing again. That doesn't mean quit your work. That means find a way to rejuvenate yourself. Okay. Dr. Rollins hadn't been here in a while, but a lot of the things he says goes through my mind a lot. And one of the things he said to me that I remember and has ingrained into my heart and my mind is that when the winds blow the strongest, your roots have to be what? The deepest. There's a different look up there. There's a tree that's healthy and growing. There's a tree that's not. And it depends just on how strong our roots are. And as long as we're together, folks, we can do it better together. So we're in the growth process. There are 3 parts of our growth process in our state. And you can say, hey, boss, this isn't good. Public schools, we've got a different set of rules. Okay, so when have you ever felt like you were the lead dog in the hunt? Anybody in here? Have you always felt like an underdog? So what's different? What's different? How many times have you had to overcome? Coach Sugg, how many times have you had to overcome? Every single day, right? Every single day. So, traditional public schools, we have accountability. I'm going to tell you what, you might not have liked the Aspire. I think we're going to like the Atlas. I really do. I think our state's moving in the right way. So, Representative Unger, please share that remark with state leaders. I think our state's moving in the right direction. Staff, we're going to be able to really be part of that exam. ACT Aspire was a pretty good predictor of what you might make on the ACT at that particular level, but it really doesn't do anything to tell a kid whether they can read or not, or at what level, right? So change is good. It's not change for change's sake. This is improvement. Charter schools, we know they're public schools because at some point the legislature deemed them so. And they can do away with some of the items that we have to provide every day, the standards. And then private and homeschool, they get 90% of our student foundation funding, which is about $6,500. We get roughly $75,000. But we don't know what the accountability is going to be yet. Our state reps may, but I think it's in the works. I just don't know what it is. So, what's in store for our district and our state? We are in a position now we don't know. But I can tell you this, we do in Springdale, don't we? We do in Springdale. What does it mean? It means we come to work every day on time, right, Jason Jones? We come to work every day. And the Bulldogs laugh. We come to work. We serve. We do our dead level best. We enjoy our day. We enjoy our kids. And like Mr. Rogers said, making a difference to the Kevins. So what's next? Just what I said. We're going to come to work. We're going to get it. So this last year, somehow, I think I probably missed a meeting because I got nominated and elected to be on the National governing board for superintendents. Again, I think I missed the meeting. But I got to go to DC this year, and it's part of a think tank of about 100 superintendents led by some really amazing people. We heard the FCC director, we heard the Office of Civil Rights director in a room that was small, and we were at tables, and we got to actually eat with them, talk to them, all those kinds of things. And I learned a few things, and one of the things that I learned is there's a national push now to do away with seat time. How many of you think seat time's a... Some of your kids might have an A in the class, and they're doing well. They're doing well, and they're having to work, or they're having to take care of siblings, or even parents, or whatever else, and they're on the chopping block to fail because they just happen to not be able to sit in your class on a particular day. So the feds, and I'm thankful, are really pushing forward to change some things. We know flexibility and creativity is the key. I believe every school in our district should have flexibility and be able to be the geniuses you are. Every school. And we're headed there. However, we've got a few things we're all going to have to figure out. How many of you have heard of artificial intelligence? How many, and this is okay to raise your hand because I'll raise both of mine. How many of you you heard of it, but you're not really sure how it's going to work? That's right. Not really sure, but I did a lot of learning this summer. I'm very green when it comes to artificial intelligence. So there are three kinds. There's reactive, there's predictive, and there's generative. Okay? How many of you have, what's those little vacuum things, those round things? What are those called? You know what part of artificial intelligence that is? It's reactive. How many of you have an Amazon account? I get the bill all the time. In fact, sometimes I get women's shoes that come up on my, and I'm thinking, how does that happen? Oh, my wife and I share the same one. So anyway, happens a lot. But that's predictive. And generative is something different. In fact, AASA, we talked about it. Clinton Bell could probably do this whole conversation better than I can. Paul Miller can. Those of you that teach computer science can. But I'm going to put it in layman's terms because that's what I am when it comes to that. All right, Coach? Just read that. So, we're going to have to get a harness on it, aren't we? And don't worry, if you want this presentation, Dr. Smith will send it out. But generative AI, your students are using it. How many of you have heard of ChatGPT? Yeah. So I typed in, I shared this the other day too, I typed in Jared Cleveland, blah, 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 whatever, superintendent of Springdale in 1914 or something crazy. And it spit something out about me being a 1914 superintendent. And I'm thinking, there's something wrong here. You know, surely AI knows that I'm not dead and not in 1914. So AI can hallucinate. That's actually a word that is more than just what we do at the end of every day. You know, I'm so glad you think I'm funny. I need y'all to go home with me. So, what AI is not, it's not magic. It's just not magic, but we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to figure it out because kids are already there. How many of you sometimes have to study at night before the next day's lesson? I did every single night. I taught AP World History and U.S. History. I studied every single night because there were some kids in my class that were awesome. And I had to make sure that I did not lead them astray. Some of our children, most of our children probably, know more about all of this than we do. So we're going to have to be learners. We're all green, right? So, we'll send this out to you, but if you just want to practice tonight or do some research or whatever, take a pic, it's fine, get your phone out, I don't care. Some of these programs across the bottom are really, really cool. I've played with them and tried to figure them out, and I'm not there yet. But I do know that there are people who are there. And have anybody ever heard of Khan Academy? Okay, I'm just going to flip on. I'm going to show you a video in just a second. He's figured it out. In fact, he's created a school where artificial intelligence is the backbone of it. But these are the conversations we're going to have. We're going to have to figure out how to foster ethical use of AI. We're going to have to figure it out. And it's probably going to be us, folks. It's probably going to be us in Springdale that has to figure it out for Arkansas. We're going to have to figure out how AI fits into our curriculum. We're going to have to. And it can, as long as we don't let it hallucinate. My oldest son, who just graduated, used AI in the math class. Took a picture, worked the problem. I'm thinking, son, he said, oh, just a tool, Dad. Just a tool. And it was a tool to get the answer. Yeah. No different than a calculator. Well, yeah, kind of a little bit. So anyway, all of these things, we're going to have to make sure it's on our front plate. Okay. Using technology to support personalized learning. There's a video that we're just about to show. I told you about Con from Khan Academy. And I want you to think, and you can Google his videos. There's several of them about AI. But I picked out one for you today that shows you examples of how schools are using AI. Okay? Paul?
The simple answer is that most nations and states are kind of intertwined. I think we've all sat in a class and we're either a little bit lost or we might be a little bit bored or maybe some combination of both. And you're like, maybe there's a way to do this that's more engaging, where we allow students to learn at their own pace. And more classrooms move towards personalization, towards mastery-based learning, to free up class time for more human interaction. Any other ideas of nations? Yeah.
They can make laws for the states. They can print money.
I really love school. I had some of my best memories in it. I still remember Miss Krause and Miss Roussel that first day of second grade when I went into that class and they said, well, what are you interested in? I was 7, and they were serious. And I said, well, I like to draw, I like games. They're like, well, then you'll draw and you will work on games. And I thought I was getting away with something. Like, is this really school? But it allowed me to learn things that I found interesting. And today, my best memories are of what started that day with Miss Krause and Miss Roussel.
So can you tell me something that you need to work on?
Well, sometimes I struggle in KA.
I've always been fascinated by this personalization in education. I thought that there was a lot of opportunity for getting more people to get much further if they were allowed to learn at their own pace, fill in their gaps. And with software, you can start to do some of this personalization, you can start to do some analytics, and it could scale. So I started writing software, and I called that software Khan Academy. And it was a friend that suggested, hey, why don't you record some of your lessons as videos and upload them onto YouTube to complement this software? And I decided to give it a shot, but they just took on a life of their own. Then people started to say how these videos had got them from failing out of a class to going back and getting an A in it. That's what gave me the conviction. Maybe one day 1 million people could use it, maybe 10 million, maybe 1 billion people. Khan Academy's mission is to provide a free world-class education for anyone, anywhere. We have millions of students who are learning on Khan Academy, over 100 million every year, but I've always believed that virtual is not in competition with the physical, that they can complement with each other.
16 plus 36 is 52.
So it's not just Khan Academy. Ideally, it's a tool that can be used with a physical classroom, with teachers that really supercharge that experience. And so because of that, we started Khan Lab School. It's a place where students are on their own learning trajectory. They're doing a lot of projects, they're doing a lot of peer learning. The teachers play a critical role to be that expert, to be their guide, to be their mentor, and see which students might need extra help or extra challenge if they need something ambitious to work on.
The growth mindset says, I can't do this yet, but you keep trying and eventually you'll get it, and also never give up.
We've learned that you can completely re-architect a school around personalization, around mastery, around inquiry and exploration. But I hope that as Khan Academy gets more reach and more usage amongst students and amongst teachers, we can say, hey, You're already using this tool, and the same tool can bring you closer and closer to this model of true personalization, where every student is on their own learning path and feels fully engaged.
See, it is possible.
Do it. If he can do it, we can do it. In fact, I think we can do it better. But we're going to have to get out of our mind the I can't statements. How many of you ever thought, oh, I can't do that? I mean, I'm guilty, okay? Or my kids can't. We can't do that. We can't allow ourselves to do that. And we can get on the struggle bus or in the learning pit, right, elementary folks? We can get in the learning pit real quick. And what the child said, I might not have learned it yet, but I will. So we've got to get out of the I can'ts, okay? So let's look at here. Look right here. How can we become better and provide more with less? How can we? We can't lead what we don't know. We can't teach what we don't know. How many of you social studies folks would feel really, really good walking into a physics class and teaching it at a high level? That's why we have physics teachers. How many of you math folks could go into PE and think you could just knock it out of the park because you know all the PE standards? Probably not. You're specialized. You know what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. So we just need confidence. You don't want to send me into an elementary music class. Kids would be running all over the place and leaving the building, right? But we can't teach what we don't believe in. At the bottom, we can't teach and lead if we don't make mistakes. So this slide is kind of a negative spin. Look at this slide. What's the difference in this slide? We can teach and lead what we know and understand. So it means we need to get after it and know it and understand it. We have to teach what we believe in. If you don't believe in it, don't teach it. If you don't believe in what we're doing, what you're doing, what you're supposed to do, don't do it. That doesn't mean sit in your classroom, don't do it. That means maybe you need to rethink what you're doing. What's next for you? How many of you are afraid to fail? Me. I am. I'm afraid to fail. Every time I have, though, I've learned something. I'm sure, Coach Price, you feel after a loss? What do you feel like? Yeah, he did this. But I guarantee you, he learns more from a close loss than he ever learned from a blowout when he won. Is that true? Every single time. We can teach if we collaborate. How many of you collaborate every single day? You new folks, get ready. You're on a bus, man. You're on the PLC bus, CTM train. I think I coined something new. How many of us have a hard time listening? Me. We have to listen. Yes, you do, Dr. Davis, Colby Davis. Yes, you do. For sure. You shouldn't have raised your hand. But I love you, Dr. Davis, I really do. We can teach if we lead with our minds open, our hearts open. We're not isolated. We focus on our character. John Wooden said it best. He said, you know, if you're worried about your reputation, you got a character problem. If you constantly focus on your character, you won't have a reputation problem. Is that true? There's truth in that. And the last thing, take risks. It's fine. Even if it leads to failure. What do you tell your kids? Maybe your take-home kids in your class, you may not have gotten it today, but you'll get it tomorrow. Just hadn't gotten it yet, and you will. I have confidence and I believe in you. State believes in us too. Again, we've got learns. Learns is the last thing I'm really going to talk to you about. I told you about the left side, told you about the right side. Get rid of all that. Focus on what our focus is, which is our kids. Then the political situation. It's just not. And if you think it is, we've got to just get that behind us because we've got to move forward. And you can criticize me for it. I don't want to hurt your feelings or get anybody upset or have you tweeting thing out. I mean, that's not it. What I'm trying to do is to help us all focus on what's important, which is our kids. and what parts of LEARNs that we know that we can really use to support our students better. Is that okay? Can we do that? Can we all be collective in that? Thank you. I needed that affirmation because sometimes it's hard to be superintendent. I'm just going to tell you. It's pretty lonely sometimes too. Do you know that? I'm just going to be real. It's pretty lonely. Even though there's 3,000 of us in the same family, I need you. I really do. And I'm not asking you to tell me, oh, you're doing great. I don't need that. I want you to be real, just like I'm being real with you right now. I've got a central office team that's super real with me. Trust me. If you know Shannon Tisher and Marcia Smith and Miss Fink, oh, my word. Now, Trent's a little something different. He'll say, hey, man, we're fine. You're doing great. And I'm like, Trent, that was awful what I did. Anyway, thanks, Trent. First thing we're going to talk about is literacy. A major component of LEARNs and a major component of what you do every day is literacy. And I'm going to go through it fast because timekeeper's slow, right? Take some nuggets. If you got a phone, take it out, whatever. If you want to make sure that you see everything, and if you think I've pulled anything out that maybe isn't as important as some things that LEARNs or ADE has, certainly it's on the website. I pulled everything from the Arkansas Department of Education that's up here from the website. I summarized a little bit. But we need to make sure that our students can read. I know some things have been said about the third grade and all, and that's fine. Our kids I'm confident, they're going to be able to read by the third grade at proficient levels. And if they're not, you're going to be provided some high-quality instructional materials from the state. Guaranteed. That's a commitment from them. Other commitments, they're going to partner with those closest to the children. Guess who that is? That's everyone in the seat out here. That's us. That's good. They're going to know how many kids already have a seat, and this is certainly in pre-K. There's a big focus on pre-K. How many believe in pre-K? I do. Brandy Wolfenberger in here? I could have used some pre-K back in the day, I'll tell you. And they're going to help us define excellence. They're going to equip every single classroom K2 with these high-quality materials. I'm all right with that. Say boo if there's anything that you don't like. Not really. They're going to deploy coaches. In fact, Dr. Smith had a Zoom yesterday at 10 o'clock with the Department of Education on the coaches they're going to deploy. And so that's a good thing. We need all the help we can get. And they're going to simplify the screening process. I'm behind on time, so I'm going to roll through some things. I want to get to each one, okay? So just take you a mental snapshot, whatever, go to the website. But the biggest thing I want you to know from the literacy components, they're going to provide us with these high-quality instructional materials, and I think that's good. Empowerment. Some of us get a little offended with the word empowerment. It's fair, because some of our general revenue may be taken to go to private school and homeschool. Don't know quite how that's going to all turn out, but I can tell you it's not in our micro bubble. Springdale, America, our micro bubble are the kids that come to us every day. Some of the ones who don't choose to come to us, who live in our community, we're going to do so many great things, they're going to change their mind. And oftentimes they do. We've already had people leave us, and what happens? We're Swope, Justin Swope. How many kids do you get back from charter school sometimes? I don't know where you are. A lot, that's what he'd say. There he is. A lot. I'll come back. Because you offer your heart, your soul, and take care of them all. And that's what you do. So, I'm glad parents are empowered. Anytime that you move, if you have children, what do you think of first? Where are they going to go to school? I know the mamas do. You mamas, y'all figure it out, right? So it's good to have choices. We just need to be the choice. Okay. I'm going to move forward. Accountability. Did you know, I love this, did you know that in Arkansas, we actually, if you add the higher ed, our ranking goes down. K-12, I hate to say we're not too bad. We're not too bad with all the constraints we've had over time. Well, we're ranked number 32. If you add higher ed, we're like 45 or 46 in the nation. Now, this is based on one metric. But at K-12, we're doing pretty well, and we can do even better if we didn't live in 1983 standards. I talked to you about this last year. We've got to do something about that. I know Representative Garner and Representative Unger are working on that. Robin Lundstrom also was working on that. She would have been here today had she not had to chair joint budget, I guess. And so they're working hard to help you have flexibility you need. So I think it's great to reward teachers. Don't know how it's going to look, but I want you to feel like you're rewarded every single day. And what we truly need is a strong pipeline of new teachers. And again, you are the best recruiters. Pick some kids out that you think might be really good, maybe in the 5th grade, maybe in the 6th grade, and help them understand that what you do matters. And I guarantee you, they want to be like you. So be the kind of person they want to be like anyway, right? Recruit, recruit, recruit. Here's a big issue. In 2022, 1 in 10 educators exited Arkansas's workforce. I'm talking the teaching profession. 1/10 of us left us. Left us. I told you about us. 212 for sure, probably 220. Need you to recruit. So the state's going to help. They're going to help us. They're going to launch teacher residencies. They're going to waive initial licensing fees. Even though they're not too much, it's still a barrier to some. I know some of you that we hired this year, I mean, you look great when you came in to interview, but I don't think you had 2 pennies rubbed together to buy lunch. So I just don't. You poor kids. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to feed these guys coming in here. So you sure can't pay for a teaching license. So right now it's a good opportunity. And so I appreciate the state for doing these things. So again, thank you. And I'm kidding, they look fine. They had plenty of money. Readiness. What does readiness mean? This R we're camping out on. Readiness means that our kids are ready to enter the world of work. And it can look a lot of different ways, right? It really can look a lot of different ways. We're going to build career-ready pathways. We already are. In Springdale, you've already launched this. You did it last year before LEARN's ever existed. And you're doing it every single day. You CTE teachers, man, you guys are rock stars. All of you are rock stars, the entire group. But our CTE folks, man, they are ready to go, and they're doing it. We're going to align our student success plans with career-ready pathways. All of these lead to college or wherever. It is no longer okay for anyone who doesn't go to college to feel like they're stigmatized. It's just not okay. And we don't need to be jumping on that bandwagon. Those that want to go to college, we're going to support that. We're going to offer IB, we're going to offer AP, we're going to offer all those things. We're going to provide a buffet of options to our kids. That's what we need to do, right? Everything. But they need to be able to leave us knowing a lot. They need to have options. And you're doing that, but now we're pressing the gas to do it a little better. So, camping out, goal 5. Each student will engage in career readiness planning that will lead to career and post-secondary placement. Because learning never stops. If you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotting. Look at the very bottom, college and career learning. That used to be an old term. I would love to just wipe it out and just say career. All of us had careers. Some of you are in your 2nd or even 3rd. I'm glad you are. But all learning needs to learn to end in career. So, our old form of thinking was high school. There was a diploma line. What was after the diploma? Then you had your choices. No kid had a choice in public school, really even private school, before. What should it be today? Uh-oh. We should have college concurrent, and we do. We should have technical certificates, and we do. We should have concurrent college and workforce certification and exploration, and we do. You are doing it. The model that the state is adopting is yours. How about that? It is yours. Yeah, thank you. When the governor says Springdale's leading the way, the secretary says Springdale's leading the way, our state representatives say Springdale's leading the way, you are. I'll say it. You might not believe any of them, but you better believe me, you are leading the way. And so I am so grateful that you are. Again, nothing I say, please don't take offense. I'm just talking to my family. Networking. Networking is a great thing. Our governor's done a great job, so has our legislature, in ensuring all kids have connectivity. They really have. They're going from 1 to 2. And then when I say that, you'd have to ask Paul Miller and all of the computer science folks, but they've done a really good job putting 2 megabits, what is Mbps? Megabits per second, is that what it is? All over the state. They're using federal money, they're using state money, and so they're really being smart about it. So we got to give them some props for that. We really do. And safety. Anybody who thinks we shouldn't invest in safety, you're off your rocker. Because you can't do your work, and certainly kids, if they don't feel safe, can they do their work? That's why we have these men and women around us who would give their lives for you. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. And our state representatives and our governor and everyone in government, they want you safe too. In fact, they'd love to be just as safe as we feel. But they did provide, is it what, $50 million? $50 million for grants. Damon, how much money did we receive in our grant application? $844,000 out of this bill. That is something we should be thankful for and appreciative of. It really is. Again, Mr. Donnell gets contacted all the time, at least once or twice a week, about our safety plans, how we do it, what we do. And you know what we do? We give it away. You know what he says? Hey, scratch our name off, put your name on it, whatever. If you want to come up, we'll show you what to do. We'll even come down. He's been places, spoken to people. You are leading the way. It's not me, it's you. You are leading the way, and I'm thankful for that. So, do we have any answers? I'm almost done. I'm trying to wrap up. I think I heard an alarm. Just saying, I think I did. Yes, I did. We do. We have some. And let's stay in our bubble. Let's let others in. Let's do all those things. We know that A to F that I fussed about so much last year, our governor and our secretary and others have listened to us, and I'm thankful for that. And they're allowing us input on what A to F may look like in the future. Again, I have to thank you. Every single time I have to thank you. I'm going to thank them for Atlas. Don't know what it looks like, but it's got to be better than what we had. Especially when you all have input. I'm going to roll through this if y'all don't mind because I heard the alarm. We'll send it out. The future. We're going to continue to reimagine school. Anybody ever wondered why 12th grade was the magic number? I did. I thought, what's important about 12th grade? Why do we have the calendar that we have? Why are we out in the summers? Why are we out early spring and come back harvest season? I mean, we're still in the old agrarian calendar, right? And 12th grade typically ended about when kids were 18. It's when they could go to war, like my grandfather. But he did it at 16 because he lied about his age. Anyway, we're going to continue to see differences. There could be a 13, 14, which could be trade or associate school or all. We don't even know how that's going to work. But I guarantee you there are conversations going on at the national level and at the state level about how do we get kids, adults, young adults, into a position to where they are in a career, whether it be they pay for it, have some skin in the game, or the state supports it. And so we're already moving that direction. Everything else that you see on here, you are doing. You are doing it, but we're in the infancy. So, these are our big, audacious goals. Truly, they haven't changed because they provide us all kinds of flexibility. And again, we're camping out on number 5. And everyone, If you're new, you might not have seen this. I think you probably have. We're also making sure that we are focused on collaboration. Our instructional teams that come together to focus on every child's success. Every child that goes to school in Springdale, you have a plan for, much like doctors do at Children's Hospital, where children have real medical needs. Isn't it awesome that a team of people can come together for one child to focus on the needs of that individual? And that's what you're doing. And I have to compliment you for it because you're so much further along than I thought you would be when we started to launch into real PLC instead of PLC Lite. And it's the work that you're doing, led by your principals and your assistant superintendents, and you as leaders. Some of the best leaders in our district are sitting out here in these different multicolored shirts. You are leaders, but you choose to lead in the classroom. And so thank you. So, just as a refresher, what are we in? We're in a war for talent. People come after you all the time. I know it. I hear from some of you, well, I got offered a job here and I didn't even apply. Well, thanks for staying. Thank you for staying. Anybody who's ever afraid for the job, don't be, because you're too hard to replace. So that part about teacher fair dismissal, you have the right character, right work ethic, you're fine. Come on back. Golden. But we have to be excellent in our marketing and our recruiting. And again, you're the best recruiters. We must harness the power of artificial intelligence. And when I say that, I'm the one that's likely the most scared about it. Being real. I got to figure it out. We must remain focused on our mission. We must work our strategic plans every day, know what they are, and execute. If basketball coaches can do it, anybody can do it. I'm just kidding, I was a basketball coach, so I'm picking on you. We must own our identity and celebrate in our CTMs. Is that fair enough? So, what's next for us? We get kids on Monday. That's what's next. You're going to see me in just a few minutes, but we're about done. And I'm hopeful that you have courage to do your work, that you have a heart big enough to accept any challenge, and that you have the brains that God gave you and that your mom and dad put in you, right, to use them every single day for the betterment of our kids. So, thanks, and I'll see you in just a few minutes.
Home means a place where I feel safe.
Home means that I'm surrounded by my friends, my family, and I have a roof over my head.
Home is a place where you feel comfortable.
Home is a place where the people that I love are.
I think home is always where the heart is.
Springdale Public Schools makes me feel at home because it's a place where the people that I love are and a place where I'm excited to go every morning.
It makes me feel like home because the way everyone treats you here, it's very friendly.
HAR-BER made me feel like home because I work with the teachers that are very nice and helpful.
I absolutely love the diversity that exists in our district, the diversity of thought, the diversity of people, and I grow every day just by being a part of a team like we have here.
We have 2 recesses here instead of 1, and it's really fun here. And we have a therapy dog named Archie. He's really playful and cute.
It makes me feel at home because I am able to be close with people and really get to know them on a different level.
My favorite part about working here at Elmdale is we are always reaching out to the community, reaching out to the families, and we're always willing to help them out in any way.
Probably the best part is getting to see sophomores as they enter, and then also working with seniors, getting to see those sophomores grow over their 3 years, and then also getting to work with seniors that are about to step out and kind of embark on life's journey.
My favorite part about J.O. Kelly is learning, having fun, even doing computer games together, answering questions about other stuff like subjects.
My favorite part of coming to school is getting to see my friends and having fun. Me gusta trabajar para las escuelas de Springdale porque me gusta el trato que les dan a las personas.
My favorite part would definitely be the people that I work with and the students that I get to work with.
My favorite part about being a part of Springdale Public Schools is getting to impact all the amazing kids we have in this district.
I feel like teachers love me and my friends love me. Like, even though I have a real family at my real home, you can have more than one family.
I love how we're all treated as a family. I think it's a very inclusive environment.
Yeah, a lot of people and different cultures, but we are considered one family.
Being the largest district, it feels still like we're one. No matter if you're teaching in elementary school, high school, when we come together, that support, that caring for one another, it is still felt.
Well, I don't think you'll find teachers that care more. I know teachers in general are ones that want to give and help students, but I found that in Springdale, across all 32 buildings, that teachers are ready to help, and they'll go to whatever length to be able to help ensure that our students get the training that they need for their future success.
Springdale is top of the line when it comes to the schools, whether it's the teachers and the staff or the students as well.
If you want to have a safe environment where you're going to be taken care of and you're going to be supported in everything that you do, Springdale's the place to be.
Springdale is a good place to be had because we really focus on making our students more successful in life.
Springdale schools are very fun, they're very inclusive, and they are always willing to do the best to help your children be successful.
Springdale's the best, so why wouldn't you want to be a part of the best? So I would tell anybody about the great things we do and the investment we have in our people, not only our employees, but also our families and our students. And there's no reason why you wouldn't want to be a part of what we do here.
Welcome to the Springdale family.
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 Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Before finishing off today, can we just give a thank you to Dr. Cleveland for his inspiring message? And now I would like to thank all of you one last time. Thank you so much for everything you have done. You have all changed countless students' lives in ways you do not know. I know that teachers love their students and want us all to achieve at high levels. This video, you guys are the reason Springdale families call Springdale schools home.
As we transition into the final segment of our show, I would just like to say, there is no place like home, and there is no place like Springdale. Thank you for being a part of our Springdale family, a place we can all call home. Please help me welcome the Superintendent's band back to the stage.
One day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside every darkened door where the blues won't haunt you anymore, where the brave are free and lovers soar. Come ride with me to a distant shore. We won't hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today. Love is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. You're going my way. I wanna ride it all night long. Through all these cities and all these towns, it's in my blood and it's all around. I love you now like I loved you then. Sometimes I float back to the wind. All the things that nights not that
What awesome talent! One last thing before we ease on down the road. Be intentional. Have courage to develop hearts that care, minds that think, and hands that serve. Y'all all right with that? Let's do it. Let's ease on down the road, folks. Have a great school year.
Enjoy the ride. 1, 2,